So the Snakecatcher was once the Railway Inn, but it was renamed in honour of one of its patrons, who was the famous celebrity snake catcher, Harry Brusher Mills. Now Brusher was born in the New Forest at a place called Emery Down in 1840. He started off as a gardener, following his father's footsteps, until the Victorian era, when snake collecting and anything in nature was de rigueur for the rich. He went into the forest and caught adders and grass snakes for rich Victorians to study. He also supplied London Zoo with snakes for their raptors, which fed on snakes. And he had a happy living at it. He lived over at Balmer Lawn in like a charcoal cutter's hut, if you like, and he got his nickname Brusher from brushing the cricket square down at Balmer Lawn there. Brusher died here in 1905, July 1905, and some say it was a broken heart, because his hut over at Balmer Lawn, Hollands Wood to be precise, had been demolished by somebody. Now the finger of suspicion lies on locals who didn't want him to gain squatters' rights, so they destroyed it, but ultimately it destroyed him, and he came here and lived in one of the outbuildings for a bit, but as I say, died in 1905. This was his favourite watering hole. It was a Railway Inn previously, and he would like a rum and a few drinks in here. And some of the funnier stories about him is he would dump a bag of snakes onto the floor in the bar if it was busy, so he could have room to get to the bar and order his drinks. It would move me, snakes. Anyone that knows me knows that snakes aren't my favourite thing. But anyway, that is the story of Brusher Mills. There's a bit of conjecture about old Brusher's death. Some say that he staggered out of this door, had a heart attack and fell at the step. Others say he died quietly in the outbuildings out the back. But others say, and this is the most controversial one, that he died in a pub called the Morant Arms, which is somewhere over here. I'm not sure where. But the tradition was, if they died on your premises, didn't mention dying on the premises, got the sirens going. If they died on your premises, then you were sort of honour bound to pay for their funeral. And there are some stories that the previous pub, the Morant Arms over here somewhere, that he died in there having his rum, but they couldn't afford to bury him, so they dragged him across the road to the Snakecatchers, or the Railway Inn as it was then, and dumped him in an outbuilding. So lots of different stories. He's certainly a colourful character. We start our walk, walking back towards Lyndhurst, through the village of Brockenhurst. And the village of Brockenhurst gets its name from the Old English for Badger's Wood. Very busy retired fire station here. I believe John Cuthill volunteers for the Brockenhurst Fire Brigade. There's a good tip there for anyone that doesn't know. I think it's the law now in the forest as well, but it's good common sense. I was at Hatchet Pond one time when I was working. I was having a break, sat in the vehicle having a sandwich, and there was a northern lady, very animated, feeding the ponies bits of bread and goodness knows what else. And slowly they were backing her towards the edge of Hatchet Pond. And eventually she had nothing left, but instead of going away, which she thought they would, they pushed closer and closer. She was literally with her feet in the water, and then one of the horses with its nose just nodded its head and shoved her over backwards. She had it on her bottom in Hatchet Pond. It's quite funny. So yeah, be careful around them. The donkeys are even worse. Needs a bit of clean-up attention. And we soon cross over a bridge over the Lymington River. Lovely in the summer, this spot, full of kids paddling. Balmer Lawn Hotel over there. So we come off the busy main Brockenhurst-Lyndhurst Road and go down Balmer Lawn Road on the right. And this is the very cricket wicket on Balmer Lawn that Brusher Mills got his Brusher nickname from. He would keep this nice and clean and tidy from animal debris, mould droppings, errant sticks or whatever. There's the Balmer Lawn Hotel, a little bit more about that later. And the pavilion. So the Balmer Lawn Hotel, it sits on the Balmer Lawn, which is a forest lawn of 500 acres or so. The name Balmer Lawn comes from the distortion of its historical name, which was Palmer's Water. The hotel was a house formerly named the Holt, which is appropriate to Brockenhurst, all things badgers. In World War I it was a field hospital. World War II it was an army staff college. But after the war it became a hotel. Early in the 1970s, however, the fire destroyed the roof, which is why you've got that strange sort of thing. It's a Mansell style roof they call that. It would have been more of a sort of Palladian type affair before. Plenty of well-known guests have stayed there. George V, Dwight D. Eisenhower, Churchill and countless other celebrities. Anyway, we're going to continue our walk along the Balmer Lawn Road and we go into the woods. Now, if you want to keep your garden plants safe in the forest, that's what you need, a cattle grid. Seems like all the collection times on the post boxes are the same everywhere these days, 9 in the morning or 7 o'clock on a Saturday. As the road bends round, you'll see a gravel track to the left, which we are going to take. Now this should be a good walk when it's been as wet as it has. I chose carefully because the weather has been atrocious this spring, but this one is pretty dry-ish underfoot if you avoid the puddles, so safe to do in even walking trainers rather than walking boots, unless I see anything different. New Forest ponies over there. But look at the state of the forest. Look at the waterlogged ground. It's going to take some time for that to dry out. I think Easter camping here won't be very happy for many people. Although you can see over there are people in Hollands Wood campsite braving the wet conditions. Incidentally, that's where Brusher Mills had his little abode, his little hut. He's wearing is reflective and it's supposed to help people see them at night when they're driving through the forest, because unfortunately there are many pony deaths. People just aren't careful enough, or the ponies are pretty much invisible. The problem them here, some of those collars are missing off ponies, some of them are dirty, but the fact is you can't really see them in the dark. So given a choice of using the main roads or going across country, Bewley Heath or such places, I'd stick to the main roads really. Honestly, sometimes it's like taking a Great Dane for a walk. Look at him. He saw a straight bit of path and he just had to run up it and run back again. He's getting on for 65, you know. He's not bad, is he? He probably pulled every muscle in his body. He's probably trodden in something nasty. But there you go. And this will be in the final cut. So I've been along the straight gravel track, the old trees and the barrier across the road. We veer off to the left. Listen to those lovely birds that have now stopped singing. And when you reach the Standing Hat car park, an entrance to the pine wood, we're going to take this cycle route here on the right. This is one of the enclosures in the forest. An enclosure is a fenced off part of it. And this particular enclosure is called the Pignell Hill enclosure. So I suppose I better explain what an enclosure is. It's a fenced off piece of the forest, and it just allows young trees to grow and mature without being eaten by the animals or chopped up by the commoners. If you didn't have enclosures, then the whole forest would be like forest lawn. So it's always difficult looking out for turns in the woods, but this is the first turn on your right past the house that seems to do some woodworking and stuff, and we're going to take that path. Okay, I said I'd keep you informed about being a dry underfoot walk. There's a little bit of mud here at this current time. There's only about 100 yards or even that at the end of the short muddy path. There's a 5-bar gate. There's the railway there, so you might see a train hurtling by occasionally, but we're heading up to cross the railway on this bridge. And this is the Pignell Hill bridge. And that is the Waterloo to Weymouth main line. And this is a lovely new bridge. Good vantage point to spot what's unique about the southwestern region. All the lines, or most of the lines, are electrified, and they're electrified by means of the third rail. So you can see the two normal rails that the train runs along, but there's another rail to the side of it that a shoe runs along, and that picks up the current to run the trains. Yeah, definitely need boots. Not quite as dry underfoot as I thought. Unless of course you sneak through the woodland like Mr. Ward there. So we're going straight on. There is a bit of a crossroads. We've got a bit of a path coming from that way. And a bit of a path veering off that way. But our route is straight on. So there's lots of moss in this wood. It's very damp. It's all over the tree stumps, branches that have fallen down over the banks. Quite damp. So if we go left on the road, you go down to Roundhill campsite and then on to Hatchet Pond and Bewley. In front of us is Ivy Wood. And then this way is back to Brockenhurst, and that's the way we're going. We're turning right. And in a moment we will be turning left towards Lymington, down Mill Lane. Right, so opposite the pig, we're going to make a left turn into Mill Lane. And again, there's a good flow on the Lymington River. Let's face it, it's had plenty of water to feed it this winter and this spring. It has been ridiculous. And the colour of the water isn't because it's dirty, it's the minerals in the ground in the New Forest. Very iron rich. Anyway, we'll cross the bridge, past the scenic roadworks. So these two millstones, they give you a clue as to what that building is. And it's Brockenhurst Mill. Not been a mill for a very long time. And that building is a 19th century building built on a much older site of a mill. It was an overshot corn mill. For those that are interested in the technicalities of mills. Some lovely wild primroses. So there's the North Lodge, the main gate really to Brockenhurst Park, which is a big house here in the forest. Very highly influenced by the French with that French style roof. We come to the end of Mill Lane and we come back out onto the Lymington to Brockenhurst or Lyndhurst Road, right by Brockenhurst Station. At the end of Mill Lane we've turned left and we've come up the hill and we've taken the next left, which takes you down to St Nicholas Churchyard, and we're going to have a quick look at Brusher Mill's grave. And there's the Commonwealth War graves, and up here in salubrious company is Brusher Mill's grave. Age 65. Getting on for the same age as Trev. Cobblers. This part of the London to Weymouth main line is known as Castleman's Corkscrew, and originally the track ran this far, and then from Brockenhurst it spurred off and it went across through Ringwood, Wimborne and off to Dorchester. But when the seaside resort of Bournemouth was developed, the line was carried on from this station straight through to Bournemouth, and the other line that went through Wimborne and Ringwood, it became less used and eventually closed under Beeching's Acts in the 60s. So Brockenhurst Station is the most westerly point of Castleman's Corkscrew through the forest. So that was a lovely 3 3/4, 4 mile walk. Enjoyed that very much. Probably nicer on a nice sunny dry day when you sit down in the forest, have a picnic by the river or whatever. But anyway, we're back here at the Snakecatcher. I'm feeling hungry, it's lunchtime, Trev's buying, so if you like the video then please like and subscribe, but otherwise follow me and let's have a look in the pub, something to eat.